All right, picking up, still have these a few keyframes on some of those pieces. So most of the forefinger and the little finger look like they're doing pretty good. But you'll notice, take a look right here as they move, that obviously this vertex is being pulled by some influence, probably off of this bone right in here. So I'll want to adjust that, and then I'll come in and animate some of these others and test those. So what I want to do is kind of pull this in and let it be there at the end of the animation, and then select this guy, and again go to my skin modifier and edit some envelopes, and probably on this bone right here, what I can do is paint that out. But I also wanted to show you the weight tool, so that you see it may help better explain exactly what's going on with this. And so to get to that, I'm going to go down here to the weight tool, and I also will want to turn on vertices down here, and let's see if I can select, say, that vert right there. Yep. And with the weight tool, let me bring that up. You can see that I have one vertex selected, and it actually has lots of weight from various bones in here, and I need to determine, let's see, yeah, so I have bone 12 selected. So what I want to do is you give it more influence on those, and I could zero out some of these other weights that this thing does not really need to have, that does not need to have control over this thing. In fact, yeah, it's this one right here. So I could just set that to 0, and that thing should be just fine. And in fact, let's pick this one, and let's see, that's the whole hand. Let's leave a little bit on that, and then 13 should have a little bit of it, and then 12 should have more. And it actually looks like it popped back out when I zeroed out bone 8 over here. So but again, what you can do is you can pick these, and you can change their numbers from some of these presets. You can pick rings and loops of verts. So if I picked a ring of verts, actually I don't guess it's going to, yeah, I don't think it's going to let me do any of that. Maybe it's because I only have one and it doesn't know which way to go. Let's see, let's try picking another one, and no, seems to not be wanting those. But and here again, we might want to take a look at that one. This one looks like, yeah, 12 and 13 in the hand have all the influence over it, and that's just fine. And you can set the maximum number of bones that would have influence over any given vertex over here. I think in the I think it's over in here. Normally I think it defaults to 3, but I think you can, in fact most of the time 3 is about what you want. And I don't remember exactly where it is over here. And I may actually be thinking of the physique modifier rather than the skin modifier, which was the old method for doing this kind of deformation. Yeah, not seeing exactly where that is, but so again, I may be thinking of the old physique, but yeah, here's a kind of fine-tuning way to adjust things. If you're having problems with the paint, you can actually pick the vertices that you want to influence, and you can see you have perfect control over those. And again, you can, if none of these presets are exactly what you want, you can actually just dial in a weight here and set it, and it'll give it to it for whichever bone you have selected down here. So this thing looks good now. So in fact, let's go out and test it. Yeah, drop down. Yeah, so it's not moving at all. It looks like one on the other side is a little bit. So let's go over here and take a look at it. Yeah, it's moving just a tad. So again, I could pop up the weight tool, and yeah, again, it looks like Bone 08 has a little bit of influence on it. So let's set that to 0, yeah, and that should pop back now. Right, and that's all looking good. Okay, so some other things, and I'll come back. There's some great tools for mirroring here, and what I'll do is I'll make a copy of this thing for, say, a right arm, and you can that way you can kind of see how you can paste from one to the other if you have, say, two arms, or if you're managing a character and it's symmetrical and you want the weight to be the same. Now that doesn't mean the rig is you know, that the movements will be the same. You could freely animate the rig for the other arm, but you can go ahead and have the weighting. That way you don't have to weight both arms. You can do the weighting, the skin weighting, on one arm and paste it to the other. Actually, while I'm over here, let's take a look over here on this side too to make sure nothing's being pulled. Yeah, that's all looking good. Now, I don't like the way this finger is kind of rising up here a little too much prior to bending, so I may adjust the animation on that. In fact, yeah, let's go to 30 and see if we can do a little of that. We may have to say about right here. Let's see, where does it kind of peak out? Right there. Yeah, that looks. What we may want to do is auto key that, and oh, I'm sorry, still in the edit envelope mode, and let's go to local on that guy, maybe pull it forward a little bit. Yeah, there we go. See, it's a lot. Oh yeah, and I'll definitely want to adjust this because that just kind of propagated through. There we go, much better curl. Let's pull that in a little tighter. Oop, added a key. Here, let's delete that guy and move that one to 30. Yeah. There we go. Much more natural. So the rest of this will be just putting some animation on these two fingers here, and let's see, do I have any on the thumb? Don't have any on the thumb yet, and some on that, and then adjusting their weights accordingly, or adjust the skinning on that accordingly, either with through adjusting the envelopes, the capsules around it, or the painting, using the paint weights to paint those on. Go from down here. Again, make sure that paint blend weights is unchecked when you do that, or through the weight tool where you can select individual vertices. And again, remember to do that. You're going to need to have, if we go to edit envelope mode, you're going to need to have vertices checked here. I'm really surprised that is not checking I'm not able to get rings and loops. Maybe I can from say right here where I get a ring or loop. Maybe I need to. Okay, that got the ring. Let's see about a loop. There we go. Yeah, I guess you need to have more than one selected so that it knows which direction to go. So let me undo that. So, to get this ring of vertices along here, or sorry, this loop of vertices along here, I'd pick those and then pick loop, and you see it's going to loop all the way around that hand, and then I could adjust all of those at the same time with the weight tool here. And you can see currently that only these two bones have influence over it, and that looks good. So. And then a ring would be where maybe I wanted to get, let's see, let's try the ring around, say, these two, so that it gets all of those. And do that, yeah, and you see it gets the ring around. Let's see, is there anything else about this? So what I'm going to do is stop the video here, and I'll go in and weight, just make sure all these are weighted, and then come back and show kind of just a basic animation to maybe pick something up and put something down.